How was your summer?
Some of our listeners may remember from a year ago, I believe we had the same conversation where we did an episode post plein air, because plein air is like the busiest 2 weeks of my work.
That's your Catalina wine mixer,
right? I worked 14 days straight.
Damn.
Most of the days were like between 10 and 14 hours. And so then this is our week to recuperate.
Recuperate and record the Shameless picture show. Yeah, I feel like
right.
around the same time. Yeah, I was being inundated with a shit ton of solo episodes I had to do. But did you have at least a good time with the festival?
I did. It was our most successful festival to date.
And damn right it was.
And I'm getting to the point at the station where we're really focusing on recruiting volunteers and interns. So I actually had quite a few volunteers to help gather footage this year rather than me doing it pretty much myself.
That's good. It's a good feeling, like when you're like, oh, the machine can run without me doing everything.
Yep.
And your hair's looking really cool. You got like this Jerry Lee Lewis thing going on.
It's so humid out here.
Well, you are right by the water, but if it makes you feel any better, up until like the last day or so, Wisconsin hasn't been any better.
Yeah.
And actually, one thing that's been nice, it was a blessing in disguise us taking time off because I hurt myself.
I saw that.
And so I slipped down some stairs. I sprained my ankle, and I tore the meniscus in my knee.
Oh.
But the funny part about all this, it was a Monday, I remember this, that we agreed that, we're going to take some time off because I was at the beach. The day before is when I actually hurt myself. But like it was just like the top of my foot hurt, so I was like, oh, maybe I just tweaked it a little bit. I'm fine.
I'm good, yeah.
I was swimming and everything. I was running and jumping and, cavorting around. And I was like, oh, that pain hasn't gone away. Let's just rub it with Icy Hot. I went to the chiropractor and I got my back adjusted. He's like, do you want me to take a look at your ankle for you? He's like, yeah, sure. The next morning I woke up, I called him back, he's like, am I not supposed to be able to walk today? I'm like, long pause. No, you should be able to walk. Well, I can't. And like,
funny story.
I don't think he hurt me. I don't think he like made it worse. I think it was just like a buildup of everything, and then him trying to make it better. Like I don't know. I just think like it finally all just caught up with me, and then
it was from all that cavorting.
Yeah, and then after my ankle healed, like it was that same day. Like I went to the Amanda got me some crutches. We went to urgent care, got some x-rays. Like, oh, it's a bad sprain, but it's fine. I'm like, cool. The very next day, my knee starts hurting. I'm like, that's not good. And like my ankle started feeling better, but it's like I can't hyperextend my leg at all. And like, oh, that's not good. I actually then have to pay another doctor bill and go to my doctor. And he's like, yeah, you tore the meniscus in your knee. I'm like, God damn it. So he popped a cortisone shot in my knee, gave me some Novocaine. I was singing Three's Company the entire way home, and it's a half-hour drive.
At least you chose an amazing TV theme song.
And then it gets worse. Knee starts feeling great. I got mobility back. My ankle feels fine. I woke up one morning and was like, hey, I've got no pain. Let's go to work. And I decided to not work. I'm taking my crutch. I wear my work boots that have no support. Foot balloons up. I'm like, God damn it. So that was another week on crutches. So now I'm fine, which is good because I'm going to the zoo today and fuck going to the zoo with crutches.
Yeah. Come and knock on our door.
We've been waiting for you. Where the kisses are his and hers and his. Three's Company too.
Company too. Ba-da-ba-da-bump.
So yeah, that for a half hour.
I say we just ignore Mad Max altogether and you sing Three's Company for a half hour and we call that the episode.
Just a half hour. Some of our dedicated listeners might appreciate it. But it looks like I said, it looks like you're doing good. Your hair's all fun and Jerry Lee Lewis-y. Yeah. I'm no longer as injured. So, we're all doing
so good things all around.
Yeah.
It was a good month.
I agree. Like, I don't know, it was nice to... it was very uneventful, but in a very eventful way. I watched 31 movies in July.
Nice. One a day.
Almost. Like,
well,
there's some days where
yet,
I had like 3 movies in a day because I had a day off, or like I went on a kick of like watching old like Warner Brothers cartoons and
nice.
Three Stooges, and I count those. I'm only at like 20 for this month. I'm behind.
I, on the other hand, have watched 2 movies this month.
I'm at like 140 something for the year.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
But like what we've always said, this show brings movies back into your life.
That's right. I would have only seen 1 movie this month had it not been for the show. So I'd have to finally check Mad Max off of the list. Segway!
Segway! Well, then I guess I should actually, do the intro proper. Because I have to say that now, because that's now part of the intro. That, and taking a sip of my coffee.
And for the working man.
A sip of coffee for the working man. Today's episode of the Shameless Picture Show is sponsored by Vinegar Syndrome. Check them out online at www.vinegarsyndrome.com. Vinegar Syndrome is one of the most interesting DVD and Blu-ray labels around because of their extensive catalog of horror, cult, exploitation, and vintage sexploitation films. Unlike most companies, Vinegar Syndrome is also a restoration company with their own in-house lab where they've done new restorations for companies such as Arrow, Massacre Video, and Draft House Films. Check out Vinegar Syndrome today and grab your copy of Dolomite, Sugar Cookies, Jack Frost, or even Psycho Cop Returns. While I'm a little more knowledgeable about the label than my co-host, I can assure you that I love their stuff. Whenever I'm at a convention, their table is one of the first I hit, and much to my wife's chagrin, I spend way too much time going over every single title. I own quite a few. So, once again, head over to www.vinegarsyndrome.com and grab yourself something cool. Seriously, my money is on Christmas Evil. Go buy it. It's John Waters' favorite Christmas movie.
And therefore it should be yours.
He does a commentary on it. It's kind of great. He does a commentary with the director, which it's even better because he has a completely different opinion of what the movie's about than the director, which makes it even better. Vinegar Syndrome. Check them out online at www.vinegarsyndrome.com.
That's for fucking with me, you no business born insecure motherfucker.
Today's episode of the Shameless Picture Show is sponsored by Mill Creek Entertainment. Mill Creek is the industry leader when it comes to value-priced DVD and Blu-ray features and compilations. They have one of the largest catalogs out there, ranging from kids programming, classic films and television, independent cinema, documentary, and Latino cinema. Hell, they even produce their own content in-house. Mill Creek is a trusted partner with some of our favorite studios, including Sony Pictures, Walt Disney Entertainment, Warner Brothers, CBS Home Entertainment, and many more. And the best part about Mill Creek is how easy they are to find. Mill Creek has deals with thousands of big box stores, grocery stores, drug stores, and practically any other retailer you can imagine. Trust me when I say I've owned plenty throughout my time as a collector without even realizing it. They're a name I can trust. Some of my favorite releases include Can't Hardly Wait, Night of the Living Dead, House on Haunted Hill from their Vincent Price collection, the complete series of Quantum Leap, the complete series of The Secret World of Alex Mack, and of course, You're the Hunter from the Future. Head over to www.millcreekent.com, that's millcreekent.com, and see what their collection has to offer. I guarantee you'll find something great.
Warning! This movie podcast actually discusses movies. Be aware that it may discuss any of the following elements: endings, surprise twists, unexpected cameos, and all manner of spoilers. If this doesn't appeal to you, why listen to a movie podcast? Without further ado, please enjoy our feature presentation, The Shameless Picture Show.
Welcome to another episode of The Shameless Picture Show. I am Michael Viers, and with me, as always, is the fuel-injected suicide machine himself,
Knight Rider. No, Nick Richards.
When I heard that line, I was like, that has to be it. That's it. The fuel injected
That guy
suicide
really
machine.
liked. He really liked mentioning who he was, in case they didn't catch it.
I am the Knight
first
Rider!
7 times.
Yeah, he was super into himself. I am the Knight Rider. Notice me, Tokata. If you can't tell by our references and the fact that Nick's flat out said it before, on today's episode we'll be discussing Doctor. Yes, I said Doctor. George Miller's dystopian action film, Mad Max, which I have to say is an amazing title. I don't know, something about Mad Max just like it's like both like childish but also like kind of threatening at the same time.
It is so 80s.
Yeah. I want
Perhaps the most 80s title ever.
I think we should make a spoof of it as the Shameless Picture Show called Angry Aaron.
Disgruntled Dan.
Yeah. Alliteration. Stan Lee would love it. Directed by George Miller and written by George Miller and James McCausland, Mad Max is set a few years from now and shows society as we know it on the downswing. Main Force Police, or MFP, is patrolling the roads from ruffians, ragamuffins, and crazed motorcycle gangs. I had to add both of those in there because it's fun.
Ragamuffins.
Mac Rockantansky, which is the greatest name ever, is MFP's top officer. MFP finds themselves going after violent, sadistic motorcycle gangs. A violent, sadistic motorcycle gang led by a charismatic psycho known only as the Toe Cutter. He leads his group from town to town, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. They're put on Mac's radar after his partner Jim Goose is burned alive by one of their underlings, and it becomes a tale of revenge after Max's wife and son are killed. With the law no longer on his side, rage in his heart, and a supercharged V8 Interceptor on his side, Max vows to chase down and kill the Toe Cutter and his gang. Mad Max, upon a release, wasn't well received at first. A lot of critics didn't get the film and panned it for its violence, incoherentness, and the killing of children. And actually, Stephen King called the film a turkey. But that's not to say the film did bad. Variety praised George Miller's directorial debut. It grossed $100 million worldwide. It was awarded 3 Australian Film Institute awards and spawned 3 sequels: The Road Warrior, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, and the Academy Award-winning Fury Road. Mad Max was the first major leading role for Australian actor Mel Gibson, and also stars Joanne Samuel, Hugh Keys Byrne, fuck that guy's name, Jeff Perry, and Steve Bisley.
Tomorrow, in a world gone mad, the only law will be a renegade squad of suicidal cops.
He's my prisoner, and he's not walking out that door.
And the open road will be controlled by gangs of glory roaders. Max is a cop, one of the best.
Where does they're out to get you? Scoot jockeys? Yeah, nomad trash. Well, I'll add it to my thread collection.
You made the news again.
Charges relating to the slaying of a main force patrol officer.
Who was he?
In a road
Dunno.
blockade accident last month.
Just another glory roader, I guess.
Toe Cutter is a glory roader, one of the most sadistic.
Anything I say, anything you say, what a wonderful philosophy you have. Take him away.
I want my baby.
You've not got a sense of humor.
Please don't hurt my baby.
You've got a pretty face, though.
Both want the other dead. But only one can have his way. Mad Max. You don't want to make Max mad. Because when Max gets mad, he gets even. American International presents Mad Max, the maximum force of the future.
So that's Mad
Nice.
Max. Mad Max in a nutshell, right there.
Now
movie's
you
a
have
turkey.
seen this before, correct?
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of the Mad Max series, and
Okay.
well, it's not. Most people don't agree with me on it. The original Mad Max, out of the original three with Mel Gibson, might be my favorite of the three.
Okay.
I know you haven't seen the next couple ones, but we can dissect it as we go along. But I'm also the weird one that prefers the original Evil Dead over Evil Dead 2.
Okay. I with the Evil Dead one, I liked them both equally. Mm-hmm. And they're so similar in so many ways.
It's more so like,
I mean,
if I'm bored and I want to sit down and watch a Mad Max or an Evil Dead movie, my brain goes to the first one. But now that Fury Road came out and that movie is a near perfect movie, that is usually where my brain goes to. But anyways, that's
Okay.
unimportant.
I've heard from several people as we were leading up to me watching it that like their take was that the first Mad Max is universally thought of as the worst of them.
Who said
So
that?
it's-
Because
yeah.
have they seen Beyond Thunderdome?
I don't know.
Beyond, let me paint you a picture because I know you haven't seen it.
Okay.
Beyond
Ooh, I'm looking
Thunderdome.
forward
So
to it.
close your eyes and open up. Take the movie Hook
Okay.
and mix it with Mad Max.
You're not set so amazing.
You kind of wish it would be. It's like at one point, like Max is finds like this group of unwanted children, and that they're survivors of like a big ass plane crash, and all their parents left and are no longer there. And they believe Max to be the captain of the plane that successfully landed it, and they're all like praying to him. And it's kind of like the way the kids look at admiration for Robin Williams and Hook. It's just tonally very weird. And Tina Turner's in it, and that's also strange.
Oh,
It's
nice.
It's not my favorite, but anyways. But I can see why people would consider the first Mad Max to. It's the least true to the world that they established in the next three films.
Okay. I will say I was expecting more of the Mad Max milieu. Like the stereotypical Mad Max vibe that I know having not seen the movies. Like you get that very tattered wasteland.
Yeah, this movie
Cobbled together punk.
I kind of wish they would have made another movie in this world, because this movie's got a very strange world to it, because there is a society still, there is a world around them, there's a city. It almost feels like the Australian RoboCop a little bit, because they've got a police force, they've got a structure in place, and then the next film, it's just nothing but desert.
Well, and the after Max leaves the Force until he goes all Road Warrior.
I see what you did there.
Thank you. Was almost pastoral. Often all the trees and the woods and the beautiful vistas and everything. It was kind of pretty. It wasn't a desert wasteland like I was expecting.
I described it like this one time to someone. They were like, well, the first Mad Max doesn't fit at all. I was like, well, where was the first Mad Max shot? Australia. Where was the rest of the Mad Max film shot? Australia. So you tell me, so they shot both of those movies in the same place. You can't just tell me that a couple miles outside town there's not just vast deserts. If they shot all this shit in the same country, it all exists. Maybe this is just the one civilization. We just don't know. We don't know. There are some interesting theories, though, about Mad Max and why the films don't tie together and all that. But before we start talking about that, what'd you think of the movie?
I'm going to have to agree with Stephen King on this one.
It's a turkey?
A bit of a turkey. I a lot of the reviews that you were reading in your intro, like I'm like, yeah, disjointed. Yep, that was like it narratively needed some stitching. I thought that it seemed like a really good excuse to show car chases and car crashes.
Well, duh.
And that those were actually shot really well and really well executed.
Dangerously too, like it's like low angles and like George Miller said he broke more than one camera on this film.
The like motorcycles bouncing off of actors' heads.
Oh my god, this movie is so dangerous. This like the way they shot it.
So I think they did that really well, and kudos to the team for not just making a car chase movie, like the fact that they set it in this kind of post-apocalyptic or heading towards maybe apocalyptic world, pre-apocalyptic, I think was a really interesting choice, and I think the reason why there are several sequels and that they are so successful, or especially the most recent one, was because of kind of that secondary, like, well, let's give it this kind of post-apocalyptic frame to a car chase movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think the merits of the story itself didn't get it to the next stage. I think it was that the interest of the post-apocalyptic world that got it to another film.
That's fair.
And that's me having not seen any other ones, so I can't say for sure.
Well, I can well, no, you finish first before I start talking about like what I find appealing about it.
But it was a really fun watch. There were parts that I really liked, parts that turned me off. And the end left me confused.
In a good way? Maybe?
It felt unfinished. Like, I felt like there were like 2 more scenes that they needed at the end of the movie. It was just kind of Mel Gibson looking listlessly on the horizon, and I get that it's like this, okay, he was this family man, that now the motorcycle gangs have turned him into this revenge-seeking, they took some of his humanity, and that's fine. I also wonder if I maybe missed a thing or two with the way that it was cut. Like, Toe Cutter was never caught or killed, was he?
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
He crashed into a semi-truck.
Oh, okay.
And they had that great scene with the eyes bulging out like a cartoon.
Yep.
Which he uses in all the previous films.
That. Yeah. Oh, and he used it several times in the first film, too. Yeah, I believe Knight Riders, it was the same eyeball shot.
He cuts to it at one point in Fury Road.
Awesome.
But yeah, he crashes into a semi-truck.
Okay, I think they were doing so much car shots and not jumping inside. That I had lost track of the fact that was Toe Cutter.
And that's fair. Like, and I will say, like, I don't disagree that the film feels disjointed at times, and that. Yeah, I can't really disagree with that. But real quick, one thing I want to ask you though, before I start talking about what appeals to me, is, did you watch the original Australian, or did you have the American dubs? Because they redubbed the film with American accents at one point.
Okay, it was definitely Australian.
Okay, good, because I've watched it both ways, and the American dubs kind of ruins it. Because like one of the most interesting parts for me is the character of the Toe Cutter. He's such a charismatic, interesting villain. His cadences and the way he talks and moves, and it's ruined in the American dub version because the actor just does not get it. The actor who dubs him just doesn't. It makes him as a comedy character.
Okay. I think I needed a bit more from Toe Cutter's... like, I didn't get him.
I agree. I wanted more of him, too.
That must be your friend over there. It didn't leave much of him.
Must have cut his heart out, eh?
Yes. That's what I meant. Poor bastard.
The Night Rider. That is his name. The Night Rider.
The Night Rider.
Remember him when you look at the night sky.
I will.
Take your hat off.
Anything you say.
Anything I say. What a wonderful philosophy you have. Take him away.
And it's okay that he's crazy and doing things because he's crazy, but I think you can do a crazy character and still understand the motivation of that character. And this one felt like, oh, I'm just crazy for crazy's sake.
Yeah, I get some
and so
of
I
that.
had a hard time in getting invested in the motorcycle gang side of it. It never seemed scary to me because it seemed like they just kind of walked around goofily, and with the exception of
Yeah, they did.
one horrible scene, like he shot a mannequin or was going to shoot a mannequin until the other guy shot the mannequin. There was also that weird scene where he like started walking the guy out into the water and said like, keep your mouth closed or keep your mouth shut. I'm like, is he going to drown him? But then he shows up later.
I took it as I think I've just put way too much thought into this fucking movie. I took that as like a baptism.
Well, that's what we do. Yes, like and of course I started, oh, water, rebirth. Okay, let's do this.
'Cause, like,
but it never paid off.
It did pay off
for
though.
me. I didn't notice it.
He took it as I took it as a baptism, where him bringing him into the fold of this group, because I don't remember. I don't remember any of the names of the other than Kondalingi, because he had a great name. I don't remember, like the blonde-haired guy in his group who didn't want to go get Johnny. He's like, I don't want to get him. I don't want to bring him into this.
Yeah,
he had.
Not.
Was it Bubba?
Bubba, but it's something kind of like that.
I think it was Baba.
Yeah, something.
But the toe cutter wanted him to go get Johnny, and he didn't want to. I imagine because he's not technically in the group. Just like
okay.
So when he did, and he had that baptism, because the very next scene is when they burn Goose alive. So it's like, I'm going to bring you into this group, and you're like,
right.
There's a lot that's not said, and I will be the first to admit that because of that, it can be confusing upon a first watch. Just like,
so
you wonder, like, oh, why is this gang so bad? They haven't done much. But like, remember when they were chasing that car outside of town, that like flame hot rod? You find out later on that they've destroyed the car. They've tied the woman up to the car, and you get the idea that
that was the horrible scene I was referencing.
Been more than likely gang raping her for a while.
Yeah. Well, and you saw the guy like running out into the field from that with the bloodied tuchus.
Yup. So,
yeah, that and that, like, by today's standards, like that scene. I'm glad that they did a lot with implication.
Yeah.
Versus,
I agree, because that could have been a very horrible. Not that it wasn't a horrible scene, but it could have been worse.
But they hinted at rather than showing, which a lot of films of that era did. Like they used it as just hey, let's show how crazy these people are. And
as chaotic and nuts as this film is, there is not a lot, but there is a little bit of a soft touch to it, where he's like, I'm not going to just be go full force with it. I'm just going to imply things, and
yeah, and he didn't go full Eli Roth.
Yeah, and I've done a little bit of research about that. Was weird.
Yeah, a light bulb just popped on.
I've done some research about George Miller over the time, and his career trajectory is interesting. He was originally a doctor, and he was working with the medical units that were scraping people off the road, essentially, which is where he got the idea for this movie.
Okay, I was what did they call it? The not meat wagon.
Something like that, though. It had a really derogatory...
They reference, the ambulance.
Wanted to make a movie, did, and, was able to build a career off of it. But, he also... He was involved in the Babe series. He was involved in the Happy Feet series.
The pig?
Yes.
Okay.
And, the movie Lorenzo's Oil. So, the man's all over the place with his career. And what I find fascinating is he mentioned this. He's mentioned this in interviews all the time. That the Mad Max series for him is he views it as a silent movie, but with sound. Where he said one of his filmmaking idols is Buster Keaton. And actually so much so that with the Fury Road, they when they released it on Blu-ray, they had a second edition of it called the Black and Chrome edition, where the entire movie's in black and white because that's the way he pictured it in his head. And he while there is talking in the film, he wanted there to be where you can enjoy it without having to actually listen to it. You get the idea just by the way it's shot. And I always thought that was kind of interesting. Just I had something else I was going to mention too, and I lost it.
That actually helps me put into context a bit some of the disjointedness of it, as if they're trying to de-emphasizing the dialogue, and maybe a second watch with that in mind might I'd probably get a different read on it.
I view the Mad Max films as being contemporary Australian versions of the Man with No Name trilogy.
Okay.
Because the Man with No Name trilogy, while there are was that 3-4 films trilogy, 3 films. There's 3 films in that trilogy. Clint Eastwood his character doesn't have a name. We don't even know if he's playing the same character in each one. There's some similarities from movie to movie, but at any point you can jump into any one of these films and watch them. And that's kind of how the Mad Max films are, because they're not so predicated on the fact of you knowing what came prior. After Fury Road came out, because they recast Max in Fury Road because Mel Gibson has fallen out of grace with everyone, and who doesn't love Tom Hardy? So let's get Tom Hardy in there to play Mad Max. There's theories about that film where it's actually the way they just a fan theory described it that I like quite a bit is each Mad Max in himself is a mythic being of the wasteland, and each one of these films is just a retelling of one of his stories. So he is
Pirate Roberts.
I'm sorry, what?
The Dread Pirate Roberts.
Exactly.
From Princess Bride.
He is the new Man of No Name. There's a couple things that we know about Mad Max to be true, and it's in every film. Mad Max has got a baller leather jacket. He's got that V8 Interceptor. He doesn't talk a whole lot, and he's mad. And and that's the way I kind of view these films. And one of the reasons I like this original Mad Max so much is while yes, The Road Warrior for all intents and purposes is a better movie, but what you were saying before about one of the things you liked about this first Mad Max was it wasn't just a car chase movie. There was a little more meat to it. Mad Max 2 and Fury Road, for all intents and purposes, are just car chase movies. There's a very thin story in Mad Max 2. In Fury Road, there's even less, but there's a lot of things they're doing with world building in that film that, for me, makes it better. But where was I going? Oh, yeah, what I liked about the film. Because what worked for me in Mad Max was it was a movie that it's not just a car chase movie. There's there's some character building. There's some sensitivity to it. Seeing Max with his wife, who is so fucking charming in this movie.
She is. She's good.
And it really hurts when she gets killed because of how much you like her.
Did I, and maybe, again, I missed some of the dialogue. I felt like when she was in the hospital and they were saying, like, it felt to me more like she was in a coma where her body's still alive, but she's unresponsive. I guess we don't
know that she died, but I always kind of take it as it's a pretty good, I don't know if they actually ever say it. Like, we know his child, Sprague. Sprague is a terrible name. Sprague dies.
Yeah. We did know that. That was another one of those things that just kind of left me feeling weird at the end, is why not, if you're not going to bring it back for whatever purpose, why leave it open?
Yeah.
Either have her die there or have a reason why she didn't die yet.
No, I agree.
Or that she recovers or something. And there was a lot of stuff like that just kind of like, the fact that Max never at least hinted to the last guy why he was going to burn him alive. That it was, this is for my buddy. Not that it has to be that cheesy or that direct.
Well, why, though, because
I do. The bad guy doesn't.
Why do we have to tell the bad guy? Why does there have to be that exposition? We're watching. Johnny knows what he did.
I don't
Max
need
knows what Johnny
did.
Like, why do we need to explain? You get the poetic justice with it.
I wanted some kind of resolution, not necessarily exposition or him. He did that. Drove away, and it just felt like it hung in a really weird way. And I think it's a lot of little things, not one big thing.
And I get that. I guess I
can't
can't figure out a way for this movie to end that's not going to hang like that, because it's I think the whole theme of this film is what does revenge really get you? Nothing. There's just a path of dead bodies, and then you're still there feeling pain.
Like one thing that really helped for me was one line when Max was quitting about how if I keep doing this, I'm going to be no different than them.
Yeah.
So that when his wife and kid did die or coma or whatever, that pushed him to be them. So then, at least that whole ending montage...
He saw it coming.
Yeah. And tried to avoid it, but they pushed him too far. Like, that helped a lot. But because there's so little dialogue and so little, like, real narrative focus, I was left... I felt like I was trying to reach for strings to tie it into something.
And
a couple of lines really helped and gave me a lot more than like Suspiria. I felt similarly, but Mad Max gave me a little more to work with than Suspiria did. But you know me,
you're far
focused.
more like, you come from the story world where so for you, style shouldn't be substance type of thing.
I want the style, but I don't. Yeah, it doesn't. Can't stand on its own. I think that for my philosophy, at the end of the day, we're telling stories. Now that doesn't mean that everything should be spoon fed, or you can certainly do. I think we talked about this in the Suspiria episode. Like, there's definitely a place for art film.
Yeah,
there's definitely a place for that where people like me feel a little uncomfortable because story's not. This obviously spawned into 3 other films, inspired a lot of people, really great at world building, like but as a standalone film, watching it, like, at the end of it all, I wanted a little bit more story to help ground all of those other great elements.
That's fair. I actually never. Now it's kind of amusing to me. I never thought of Mad Max as being any sort of art film, but now it kind of feels like I just imagine like there was a couple stoners that I went to film school with, and I just imagine them sitting back like, I'm gonna make an art film with fucking car chases. But you know what Michael Bay says about art film?
What's that?
Art film is like masturbation. It's fun for no one but yourself. And first time I heard that, I was like, "You're not wrong, Michael Bay." Never thought I'd say that.
That's amazing. Just totally emptied my mind of all of the places I was going because now I can't get Michael Bay out of my head saying that.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to throw off the flow of the podcast.
Oh, no, it was wonderful. It was needed.
We were talking about an art film a little bit. I don't know if that's where your brain was going. The film being an art film.
But no, I think I like seeing films that aren't coming out of some, studio process. And that isn't a critique on studio films. I'm not one of the people that are particularly hard on them. But films that aren't super polished, I really enjoy. You can see how it's built a little bit better. Without all of the polish and surfacing, you can see how the mechanism works a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so as a filmmaker, that's always fun. You're a little more aware of the camera angles. You're a little more aware of direction and acting, and when it's not so good that it disappears. And I got a lot out of this film for that reason.
Yeah. It's almost...
I know where I was going. It was the perfect example of the filmmakers nowadays kind of spoofing that, like, 80s VHS, like, laser beams and action car post-pop, like... You know what I'm...
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to
what
describe?
You're saying about, because like
that VHS cheese.
Yep, like
VHS
Mad Max
cheese. This
Mad Max started that.
Yes,
and
yeah, exactly.
And I actually love a lot of the Mad Max inspired films. Like The New Barbarians is a good one. Bronx Warriors, Escape from New York is one, but there's also one called Escape from the Bronx that's spoofing both of them.
Yeah.
And like they're so great. I love that there was a time in history where if a film was popular, the Italians were figuring out ways to like profit off of it.
Right.
Like, oh, Mad Max is popular. Let's make a bunch of Mad Max ripoffs. Oh, zombies are popular. Let's do a bunch of zombie ripoffs. Like, I just love that was a thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, going back to my Evil Dead comparison, the reason I kind of equate first Mad Max to like almost like the first Evil Dead, whereas the first Mad Max and the first Evil Dead are their own fucking things. Just it's almost like a fleeting dream. And then you wake up, and then you like, oh, this is what I'm used to, but I had this weird dream about it. Because you can jump into Evil Dead 2, watch Army of Darkness, and then the entire Ash vs. Evil Dead TV show, and not even need the first one. You could start at Road Warrior, watch all the other Mad Max films, and not ever needing the first one. And to me, that's just it's kind of interesting. So like I sometimes forget that the first Mad Max is part of that world because it's its own little strange time capsule of a world, because like Miller's very influenced by like Joseph Campbell, and not only the hero's journey, but like the whole idea that a hero with 1,000 faces type of thing, and and that shows in every film except for the original Mad Max.
Right. Well, with Evil Dead, and you could tell very clearly that Evil Dead 2, Sam Raimi was just remaking Evil Dead, but he was just a kid with a camera that wanted to make something cool with his friends, which is how I started, which is, I'm guessing
That's
is how you
I started, yep.
And then people were into it.
Mm-hmm.
And he found money to do another one, and it's like, oh shit, now I can do everything I wanted to do the first time without all of those indie limitations. Well, without as many of the indie limitations.
No,
so in
exactly.
so many ways, it's not a sequel at all. It's the same film, just made bigger.
Sam Raimi and George Miller remind me of each other in a lot of ways too, because people don't realize it, but Sam Raimi and George Miller are kind of like Martin Scorsese and Steven Spielberg in a way, where they're so inundated and inspired by classic Hollywood. But, Spielberg and Scorsese do more classically themed films. If someone says, Martin Scorsese is inspired by film history, you look at his, filmography, I'm like, well, no shit. But George Miller and Sam Raimi have those same influences, but they internalize them in a very different way. If someone were to be like, George Miller was super inspired by Buster Keaton and Akira Kurosawa, and you look at Mad Max and be like, fuck, really? But they internalize it in such a different way. It's I love the Seven Samurai and I'm gonna fucking make a car chase movie.
Right,
more power to, or Sam Raimi is I fucking love classic Hollywood cinema and old noir films and the Three Stooges. I'm gonna go make a demon possession movie. I love that shit. I love when someone takes non-traditional influence and puts it into something else. It's the slasher film I've been trying to make that's inspired by westerns.
Right. Yep. Oh, and you can go to the really huge example of that, Star Wars.
Yeah.
Where it's a western set in space.
Yeah, it's like a samurai film meets a western with a bunch of other shit and green people in between.
Hero's journey, and yeah.
Yeah, and the 70s.
Did I say Star Trek or Star Wars?
You said Star Wars, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, that was the one I meant. Now I never know. Let's play back the tape.
And Star Trek is more influenced by literary sources than I think that's one. Not to make a Star Trek versus Star Wars argument, but I think that's one thing I always liked about...
Let's do it!
I always liked about Star Wars... I think I described it in our very first episode of the Shameless Picture Show, where we talked about Star Trek. I grew up on a heavy diet of Star Wars, but I occasionally snacked on Trek. Very little bit.
Nice.
And in that, I think the reason I like Star Wars so much is George Lucas came from it from a very visual standpoint. He liked the visuals of westerns. He liked the visuals of samurai films. He liked the way these films looked and was making something very visual, where Roddenberry was more influenced from the literary sources and the literary sci-fi. Didn't care as much about the visuals. It was more so trying to tell an interesting, dense story. So, I was, I'm a candy kid, man. I want something that looks pretty and tastes good.
So me.
But that has nothing to do with Mad Max.
I've got about 15 more minutes before I have a meeting, and there's one other thing that I'd like to talk about.
Go for it.
And that's the other movie that I saw this month. So, is there anything else that we want to say about Mad Max?
Other than that, I feel like I would love to hear your opinions on Fury Road if you can ever get to it. And
I would very much like to see it. I've heard nothing but incredible things about it.
It was nominated for Best Director and Best Film at the Academy Awards that year.
Nice.
That alone.
And I'm assuming I know your answer based on what we've talked about today. Do I need to see the other two Mad Maxes before I see Fury Road?
Nah, you'll be fine.
Okay, so the other film that I saw this month, I'm hoping you've seen it, but I'm guessing you haven't. Sorry to bother you.
I have not seen it yet. No, you're the second person. I'm co-writing a script with a buddy of mine. He can tell me I have to go see it.
That's right. Oh, and I mentioned it to you on Messenger. It reminds me, the tone of it reminds me so much of the film that I made.
Normal. My favorite movie.
And then has Idiocracy meets The Big Lebowski.
Okay.
But if it were a Spike Lee joint.
Okay, there's a lot going on in that.
There is so much going on. And if you see the trailers, that only represents the first act of the film. The next two acts just go off the fucking deep end.
I'm hoping this weekend me and Amanda are going to visit her mom. Well, we're going to the Dells this weekend, but before that we're going to go visit her mom in Iowa. And AMC theaters in Iowa, all movies are only $5.
Nice.
So I was gonna try to drag her brothers to go see that, and they have they are such just stereotypical moviegoers. I want to drag them into a crazy weird art film.
Nice. Okay, I will hold off on talking about it then until
you
have
can
a chance
mention
to
it.
see
Just I don't it doesn't bother me. It's actually making me more excited.
But I have to talk about this movie, and this is the format, and you are definitely the person to talk to about it. So once you've seen it, we'll talk about a little end cap. We will talk about Sorry to Bother You.
Well, then one movie I want to recommend to you, because there's actually a couple movies I want to recommend to you, but I'm gonna make it to three for you. If you ever get a chance to watch the movies, I've already told you that you need to see The Lure.
Yes.
I already told you.
Trailer.
It wasn't a trailer. It was a music. It was a music video
clip.
for one of the songs in the movie. It's just so fucking weird.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I don't know. I just I can't really describe the tone of this film, so I'm just gonna show them this music video and hope that does it for me. The two movies that I saw though that really blew me away this last month was a movie called Hard Times, which I talk about on the upcoming bonus episode. Mill Creek sent it to me. It's a Charles Bronson film where he plays a bare knuckle brawler.
Nice.
But it's it's the least Charles Bronson film. It's directed by Walter Hill, best known for The Warriors. It's his first movie.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh man.
And it's great. It's about he's a bare knuckle boxer who comes to town and realizes he meets this guy who books bare knuckle fights, and his fighters keep losing, and he's like, well, fuck, I can make this guy some money. And they go and it's about bare knuckle boxing in New Orleans. And
nice.
James Coburn plays his manager, and he keeps throwing away all of his money, and he has to keep trying to book more and more fights for Bronson. And it's just got such a it's like the Rocky of bare knuckle boxing.
Right, I was just you're gonna trap thunder.
The best line from the movie, though, I wrote it down because I liked it so much. The next best thing than playing and winning is playing and losing. And then there's one on Netflix that I recommend that me and Amanda watched and were blown away by. It's called The Devil's Candy. It stars Ethan Embry, if you know who he is.
Oh, I am well versed in the works of Ethan Embry / Ethan Randall.
Ethan Embry plays a painter in this, who is also an extreme metalhead, which is pretty fucking awesome. Him and his daughter bond over their love for metal. There's a great scene at the beginning where he's driving, he's got long hair, and he's fucking ripped to shreds. You could shred cheese on his abs, and he's just driving with the most intense face, just head banging to death metal, and his daughter's in the back doing the same, and it pans over to their wife. To his wife, and she's like, can we listen to something less heavy? She loves them, but she just doesn't get the whole metal thing necessarily, but she loves them so much. They move into a house they can't afford. They're struggling, but they find out that the person that used to live there has been possessed by the devil and is trying to get back and is trying to get back into his house. So it's almost it's almost kind of like a home invasion film with the devil.
That sounds incredible.
It's great. It's called The Devil's Candy, and I think you'll enjoy it. It's on Netflix.
Cool. I will check that out.
Cool. So what do you want to talk about next week,
sir.
Nick? Or should we take some time to figure it out?
I don't want to overcommit to anything just yet, but I'd love to do our double feature.
I would love to as well. If we can make that work.
If the calendar can accommodate it.
Yeah.
And the other one, we were talking with a friend of mine about doing Ghostbusters.
Yeah, and don't she still have to do Beetlejuice at some point with a buddy of yours?
Yeah. So I say, I just took a look at my calendar, let's do Ghostbusters as long as I can get my buddy in on it.
Deal. I'm down for Ghostbusters.
Nice. It is. I really should redo my top 5 films because it is a tragedy that Ghostbusters is not in my top 5.
I've only got a top 4 right now.
Oh, okay.
Maybe Ghostbusters will be 5. We'll see.
Save that 5th slot for Ghostbusters because it will.
We'll talk about it further in the Ghostbusters episode. But it's one of the things, like, I always knew about Ghostbusters. It was on all the time, but I'd never watched the movie from beginning to end. I saw bits and pieces here and there, and out of context.
Yep.
Out of context, it was like, I don't get it. So.
So good.
Okay, I'm holding you to this.
Let's do Ghostbusters.
But here we are next week. Next time we do an episode, you're gonna be going on about how much you love Ghostbusters, and I'll be like, it's incoherent, and
I didn't really love it.
It's what, I agree with Stephen King. It's a turkey. This is the most heated me and you have gotten in an episode thus far, and it wasn't even that bad.
Yeah.
But we actually argued.
No, but. You're wrong. Your opinion is bullshit.
Fuck you and everyone in your life.
And the horse you rode in on.
Especially that guy. All things considered, though, I think it was a fun episode.
That reminds me of Sorry to Bother You, which is, you'll understand once you watch it.
I will have to see it this weekend. I'm off until Wednesday, so I've got some time.
Nice. All right, sir.
All right, brother.
As always, a real pleasure.
All right. Wait, actually, I got to get better at doing this. Thank you guys for listening to the Shameless Picture Show.
Yeah.
You can find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher Radio. As always, you can also find us on Facebook. It's the loneliest Facebook group around. Both of us individually are on Facebook, and you can find me on all social media platforms, including Instagram and Facebook. Twitter, which I don't use very much, Michael_Viers.
Nice. All right. We'll see you next time.
See you next time, guys.